So this is Moby, my homemade camper van that used to be in a past life a Matco tool truck. The truck chassis is the GMC badged version of the Isuzu NPR. It's a 2001. As a tool truck, it came with this side door here. It also came with this battery bank, which the previous owner added. I'll show you that in a little bit. I'm also traveling with a KLR 250 that I added some very large ammo cans to shuttle groceries and water around. These are 30 millimeter ammo cans, I believe. I welded that up as it's kind of hard to find boxes for the 250 as opposed to the bigger motorcycles. So here I've got six 6-volt batteries. That gives me about 8,000 watt hours at 12 volts. That's charged from the solar, which I'll show in a little bit. I've got a shore power plug if needed, and then in here I've got a USB 12 volt and 110 volt outlets. Here I've added a box that has my propane. So I've got 2 cylinders in there that I can just exchange if needed, if I can't find a place to refill it. And there's an automatic switchover regulator. This box is just miscellaneous junk, fluids and jack and some other junk in there. One of the nice features of the tool truck is this lift gate. Makes a great patio. So where I'm at right now is pretty dusty, and if you just want to sit out and have your coffee and not track in a bunch of dirt, can just go out the back door and a nice little patio. So come around this side. This is a 5000 BTU window unit, which I've modified. Look under here, there's a custom fiberglass plenum that I made. Kind of hard to see, but that redirects the return and the vents up through the floor. And I can show you that when we go inside. And the controls have been pulled out, and it runs off of just a programmable house thermostat. And then we've got a 30-gallon gray water tank. Sorry, it's a little bit bright. Kind of hard to see that black tank, but it's there. And this is part of the air conditioner that came with the truck. So that's the condenser for what is a very large air conditioner unit that runs off the engine. It'll cool it down pretty quick, which is nice. If you're traveling, you can just turn it on the last couple hours, and the back of the box is cold when you get to wherever you're going. I've added a Suburban 6-gallon propane water heater. Also on this side I've added a couple windows, and you can see the solar up there. So keep coming around. It's a tilt cab, which is kind of interesting, hanging out in the front. Got a rear view camera, but for the most part everything in there is pretty good. So let's go inside. So looking forwards from the door is the galley. And this area also has a lot of the utilities hidden in it, which I'll show you. Here on the right is most of the electrical systems, and start here at the bottom under this little seating area, which has there's a USB plug here for charging your phone and stuff. But under it is the 3000 watt inverter. This came with the truck actually. The wiring had to be upgraded. It was way undersized for 3000 watts, but it's all safe now. I've got a 300 amp fuse there, shunt, which is used to measure the power being used by for the power tracker, and got some breakers for tying into the automotive 12 volt system so I can charge it while we're driving down the road if I need to. The solar panels over there on the left, and then a main breaker for the 12-volt systems in the back. So that's all hidden under there. And on top of it, I've got a dual zone winter fridge. Right now I've actually got both zones set to the same temperature. I've been pretty happy with this so far. It's a little bit noisier than I'd like, but it runs off 12 volts. Doesn't have to be perfectly level, so I don't have to, as long as I'm not way off, I don't have to worry about leveling the truck. I've got a couple storage drawers, a outlet, and then coming up I've got a breaker panel that I made. So this is all of the circuits in the truck, as well as some controls for the water heater and the water pump and some other things. And above this is the solar. So in here I've got the power tracker, and this is where the solar comes in. So there's 1200 watts of solar on the roof that comes in here, and they're in 2 parallel strings. So both those come in. I've got them breakered here and a surge protector in case we get struck by lightning. Hopefully it'll save some of this stuff. The Midnight Classic power tracker monitors the maximizes the solar power based on the lighting and controls the charging of the batteries. A couple of relays for some circuits. And on the front of this is the control panel for the Midnight Classic and the control panel for the Xantrex inverter. We'll back up here. You can see this is the air conditioner that came with the truck. Again, it's engine driven, although I can run, this makes a really good circulating fan, although it does use a lot of power when it's on. It definitely moves a lot of air. Got a microwave here that's kind of handy, and don't have to heat up the whole truck just to warm things up. And then the kitchen. So this is a Korean countertop that manufactured myself. It's a neat material. It doesn't take any special tools, just some special glue and regular old power tools. I've got a 2-burner propane stove and a stainless sink. And then the backsplash is stainless steel. I've got a cupboard up here for a very messy cupboard, and all of my light switches are these illuminated type. They're pretty dim. They don't put off too much light. I kind of like it. Kind of gives it a spaceship feel. So pull back here so you can see these cabinets. The cabinets in the back here actually came with the truck. Being a tool truck, there was like a little stand-up desk, and I like that height. So the counters are probably tall for a short person. They're about 41.5 inches tall, but as a tall person, I like that. I don't have to bend over. And then this corner cabinet I made has the water tank is located in here, and there's access to the pump, the water heater, and I've also got a narrow, kind of goofy drawer I can show you. This fits in that unique space that's left around the plumbing. So these valves allow you to run everything off municipal water. There's a shore connection on the side, or fill the tank. And this comes out and you can see there's all of the plumbing, PEX, except for there's some vinyl tubing connecting to the water pump, and actually that one right there in the center is the overflow vent. There's a fiberglass pan that I made under here. Pull that back out and show you. So all the plumbing is in this pan, which can drain out. So if there's a spill or something breaks, It shouldn't flood the whole kitchen, it should just drain out. This back in here. So next is the bathroom space. So this is what would be considered a wet head. They've got a Nature's Head composting toilet and a fiberglass pan that I made myself. So the toilet's slightly elevated, and it's a pretty good space for both showering and doing your business. There's a this is a gravity fill port, so if I bring in some water, I can pour it in and fill up the water tank. And the pocket door actually has a mechanism to hold it open, but privacy. And over here I've got a small 12-volt TV on a mount that comes out, and that is the thermostat for the air conditioner. And then down here at the bottom, that is the litter box entrance, which is located in the back under that cabinet. And this is the rear space. So from the door looking back, I'm going to adjust the lighting real quick here, and we'll continue on the tour. Okay, so looking back, the most prominent feature, I guess, would be the bed platform, which is on a motorized lift. There's a winch on either side, and I can raise that so it makes it easier to get out the back door. I've also got these cabinets that, if we got friends over, can hang out and chat. And then this bed comes down, and I can actually level it, having a winch on either side. So if you're parked on the side of the road, a lot of times you'll want to put this end up higher so that the bed's level. I've also got a Dickinson propane fireplace. I've got controls here for, there's a light in the entryway, and then this lower switch is for the outside lights. I've got a bright white and then also a dim red, which is nice if you're stargazing. This cabinet here, there's some large drawers for junk, and then also the tops flip up, and I've got storage for blankets and other things. There's also power there, 110 volt power, and then these are the controls for the winch. I've made a video on that. I've got these two large windows back here, and they are the type that are flush fit on the outside, tilt open, which I like. Even though they may not let as much air in, I can leave them open, and I've through the rain, I've never had any rain blow in during a thunderstorm. This cabinet here is a chest for miscellaneous junk, oversized junk. And back there in the back, under this shelf, which comes out, I've got the, you can see where the air conditioner comes in. Let's see if we can get a flashlight here. We can shine some light down in there. So that's where the two vents come in, and then the pink foam is the return. And those vents, I've got one blows forwards, this one blows a lot of air, and then I've got a smaller one that blows up, and so this will, when the bed's down, it still doesn't get blocked for the back area, and it does okay at 5,000 BTUs. You know, in the Texas heat, it's only going to keep it 80 something in the back, but the idea is to be able to move if it gets that hot. Got another power plug, and the back door, which opens out onto the patio. Push this open, and voila. Spin around, and you can now see the very messy, disorganized closet. So I've got some hanging space, and then I've got another cabinet that I've made, which has some drawers for stuff, and the kitty box, which is vented outside just like the composting toilet. And that's the tour, guys. If you have any questions, post a comment, and have a great day.